Hello everyone, Clack of the Geek here, welcome back to a brand new video, and today is the long overdue review of the animated recreation of the Faceless Ones. Now this is obviously the animated recreation of the missing Patrick Troughton serial from the 60s. It came out in March this year, literally just before lockdown started, and I never got around to watching it until around June, and I wrote the script for the review in around July, but finally I'm recording it. So here's the review. I'm going to be focusing on the story and the animation in this video. So let's start off with the animation. This animation is my favourite out of all the ones we've had so far. First off, the character design is very good. The TARDIS crew look great, very much in line with what we had in the Macra Terror, and they look very good. And Polly's definitely an improvement from the Macra Terror. And the side characters as well, they look very well designed, especially the Commandant with the suit and tie, the moustache, the glasses. It's really done very well to replicate that 60s vibe, that British 60s vibe. It works really well. But my favourite part of the animation are the set pieces. You've got the aeroplanes, the airport, the space station. It's properly cinematic, and it's properly it's really breathtaking. It's a bit more fancy than it would have been in the 60s, and I like this new creative direction that they take. There's also some great Easter eggs in there, such as the Magpie Electrics from The Idiot's Lantern making a little appearance, and wanted posters for two of the Masters, Roger Delgado and Sacha Dhawan. Obviously they're not necessarily needed, and they don't, enhance the story necessarily, but they're satisfying when you find out about them. It's just nice seeing Easter eggs. It sort of fleshes out the world in a way, it makes it more detailed, and I love that about it. So let's talk about the story. So the story's a great murder mystery. The first 4 parts have great atmosphere and mystery. It gives you little bits of info one at a time, but not rushing into it, giving the story much needed breathing space, which a lot of stories in the new series especially suffer from. I think the setting is great. An airport is a great setting for a Doctor Who story. It's such a strange, unusual place, and it's a place where something could very well be happening right in front of you, but you can't really investigate because you're flying. And it's got that real sort of uneasiness and uncertainty about it throughout the story. Patrick Troughton is fantastic as the Doctor. Honestly, the more I watch him, the more I love him. And Jamie is fantastic in this story. Obviously, this is one of his first stories, but he's such a great companion, and him and Troughton just have such great chemistry. You've also got some great side characters who, you really remember, such as the Commandant, who starts off as very arrogant, but eventually becomes very helpful in saving the day. You've also got Samantha Briggs, who is played by the same actress who plays Queen Victoria in Tooth and Claw, the David Tennant story. And she's a really good character. She has a really nice romance subplot with Jamie, and their chemistry is very good. And she could have really been a great companion, because apparently she was, but they actually didn't want to stay on for a long-running show, so that's why. But she would have made a great companion, I think. I also think the chameleons are quite good villains. They are shapeshifters, and this is before the Zygons, so that's really cool when they're creeping about the warehouses. That's quite sinister. I also think the script is really clever at places. For example, when they discover that the chameleons are shrinking their victims and keeping them in a little drawer, they find out what's happened to the people who have been, kidnapped. It's sort of a really good metaphor for how airports simply see you as data. Once you get on your flight, all they know you as is just your name and your details on a passport. That's quite clever. However, it's not without its faults. Considering this is Ben and Polly's final story, they barely appear after episode 2, and they just bugger off until part 6, and I don't like their exit either, They just leave because they miss Earth, I don't like companion exits like that anyway, but it's just so forgettable, and it just doesn't sit right with me. I also think parts 5 and 6 sort of drop the ball a bit, When the mystery's been revealed, it just gets a bit wishy-washy and a bit samey. So yeah, that's my other criticism of the story. So overall, I'd give this story an 8 out of 10. It's not without its faults, but parts 1 to 4 are absolutely incredible. Parts 5 to 6 do let it down a bit. But yeah, it's a great story, and it's one that I wasn't disappointed by, because I've gone on about saying it's one that I've always been intrigued by, and I wasn't disappointed. So what did you think of the Faceless Ones if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek, signing out.